students, welcome back to the video tutorial series of the mobile computing and wireless communication. Now let's have a look at the remaining topic of the GPRS. We have learned about the GPRS architecture and GPRS routing in the last lecture. So now let's start with the topics related to GPRS. Now topics to be covered in this lecture, that is GPRS network enhancement and transmission plane protocol architecture. Okay. Now first is GPRS network enhancement. Why it is required for this GPRS network enhancement? As I told you that GPRS network is ultimately based on the GSM network. Okay. Why it is based on the GSM network? But because it is not necessary that if it is not compulsory that you have to define the GPRS network differentiated of the GSM network. Okay, so here ultimately GPRS is based on the GSM network, the infrastructure that is used by the GSM, that is used by the GPRS network. If we are using the same infrastructure, then there is a need of defining the node, the need of defining the enhancement to node that is available. So in GPRS network, we have defined two different nodes, that is SGSM and GTSM. And whatever the nodes that is available right now, so we have to enhance that particular node. So here these are the nodes that is used to be enhanced in GPRS network. First is the base station system, that is a BSS, needs to be enhancement to recognize and send the packet data, because in GPRS we are using the the data packets. So in base station system, BTS needs to be upgraded to allow the transportation of the user data to the SGSM. Okay. So also BTS needs to be upgraded to support the packet data transformation between BTS and mobile station. So whenever the data packet is transmitted between mobile station, at that time it is necessary to define the GPRS, define the base station subsystem. Now HLR needs to be enhanced to register the GPRS user profiles and respond to the query originating from the GSM regarding this profile. In GSM, HLR is responsible for storing the information of the GSM subscriber. So it will store the information regarding the voice network. Now GPRS is using the data network. So the customer who are using the data network services, that information also should be stored in the database. So HLR should be upgraded to store such type of information related to the GPRS. Now next is the mobile station. For the GPRS is different from the GSM. So mobile station, that suppose you know, that is for example Nokia mobile, that is Nokia, that is not possible for providing the signals that the smartphone, the phone that is not the smartphones, that not provide the this type of data packet service. So smartphone provides this type of data packet service. So the mobile should be a smartphone which is available provide the data packet service. Then next is SMS and GMSC. SMS and interworking MSC are upgraded to support the SMS transmission via the SGSM. Now here you can see this is what a transmission plane. So this transmission plane is defining in the GSM GPRS architecture. So here you can see this transmission plane, this is mobile station, then base station, then serving GPRS support node, then gateway GPRS support. Now these are the protocols that are related to this particular node. Now protocol architecture of the GPRS transmission signaling plane comprise the protocol for the control and support of the functions of the transmission plane. What it includes? It includes the GPRS attach and detach. It includes the PDP connections. It includes the control of the routing path. So etc. That is included in this GPRS architecture. Now let's have a look at the signaling plane. Okay, so signaling plane, that is between SGSM and HLR, and between the SGSM and EIR and enhanced mobile application part. Okay, so the signaling plane that use a signaling system, that is the extension of the signaling system SS7. This SS7 is a channel that is provide the signaling plane. Now it is used in the GSM and transport the signaling information related to location update, routing information, and user profiles and handovers. Okay, so this type of information is related for the signaling plane. So whenever we are considering the signaling plane, we should provide this type of information. Now GPRS backbone. So GPRS backbone, that means it includes transmission plane. Okay, so it includes the transmission plane between the SGSN and GGSN. GTP, that is a GPRS tunneling protocol used to tunnel the user data and signaling between the GPRS support node. Okay, all the packet data you need shall to be encapsulated by the GTP. It uses both intra-P element and inter-P element. Now all of you are aware about the inter-P element and inter-P element as we have learned in the GPRS routing. So in GPRS routing, there is a two types of different network. If there is a two type of different network, inter-P element, intra-P element, so such type of informations will be provided. Then GTP packets can carry user data packets from network and under standard protocol, that is a TCP and UDP. That is a transmission control protocol and UDP protocol. Then next, BSS's SGSN interface. BSS's SGSN interface is divided in 4 different layers. Which 4 different layers? First is a subnetwork dependent convergence protocol, that is known as SNDCP, which is used to transfer the data packets between SGSN and mobile station. Its functionality includes the multiplexes several connection of the network layer on one virtual logical connection of the underlying LLC layer. So it providing the multiplexing for the several connections. Multiplexing, now all of you are aware about that a different type of multiplexing is there. TDMA, FTMA, STMA, and CDMA is that such type of multiplexing techniques will be provided. Then logical link control LLC is LLC is a data link layer protocol, and for the GPRS, this layer is responsible for the reliable transfer of the user data across the wireless network. Now, base station system, base station system GPRS protocol, that is a BSSS-GB, delivers the routing and quality of service related information between BSS and SGSN. So that is the role of the BSS as the BSS-GB. Then network service layer manage the conversation sublayer that operates between BSS-GB and frame layer. Now next is air interface. Air interface of the GPRS comprise the data link layer and physical layer. Data link layer between mobile station and base station subsystem divided into 3 sub-layers, which are that is LLC, RLC, and MAC. That is logical link control, radio link control, and medium access control. Then physical layer, that is a physical layer between mobile station and BSS, is divided into 2 sub-layers: physical link layer and physical radio frequency layer. So physical layer is ultimately divided in 2 parts. Now first is logical link control layer. So logical link control layer provides the reliable logical link between mobile station and SGSN. So it provides the reliable communication. The functionality of it, that is a sequence control, in-order delivery and flow control, and detection of transmission error and retransmission. Sequence control, that means if we are here we are transferring the data packets. So if we are dividing the entire data in different packets, so that packet should be in sequence. And in order delivery, that means if the data packets are divided in 5 packets, then that delivery should be in order, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Then detection of transmission and receiving, that means if there is any error, then the error should be detected, and if there is any error, then error should be covered. Then encryption is used in this interface to ensure the data confidentiality. So for the data confidentiality, it should use the encryption. So data should not be intercepted by any other third party. Then it is also responsible for acknowledgement and unacknowledged, acknowledged and unacknowledged frame. So whenever frame is transmitting in the communication network, that frame should be acknowledged. If the frame is acknowledged, that means that is received by the receiver. If it is not acknowledged, then it means it is not received by the receiver. Radio link control layer. Radio link control layer again provide the reliable link between mobile station and base station. Okay, it also responsible for segmentation and reassembly of the LLC frames. Again, segmentation, that means what, we are dividing the data packets, and reassembly, that means we are combining the data packets at the receiver side. So radio link control layer is responsible for this. Now next is medium access control layer. So medium access control layer controls the access attempts of the mobile station and radio channel shared by the central mobile station. Well, it is responsible for connection resolution, contention resolution, and multi-user multiplexing. So it's provide the multi-user multiplexing. At the same time, different numbers of users can use the same medium. So to provide the proper communication between the multi-user, a medium access control layer is used. Now next is physical link layer. Physical link layer provides the series for the information transfer over the physical channel between mobile station and the network. That means physical layer is representation of responsible for the physical representation of the data. It functions include the data unit framing, data coding, detection, and correction. So this all the functionality will be done by the physical link layer. That is the data coding, detection, and correction. That means whatever the data is coming, it will detected by the physical layer. And if there is any error, then it will be corrected by the physical layer. The physical layer use the services of the physical radio frequency layer. Services is not individually provided in the physical link layer, but it will use the services that is provided by the physical radio frequency layer. Now let's have a look at the physical radio frequency layer. Physical radio frequency layer, it performs modulation and demodulation. Modulation and demodulation, that means what? For example, you are converting the narrowband signal to the broadband signal and broadband signal to the narrowband signal. That is what the modulation and demodulation. That should be done by the physical radio frequency layer. So when we are converting this narrowband to broadband, broadband to narrowband, at that time this physical radio frequency services for the physical radio frequency layer will be used. So here it also demodulates the received waves from into sequence of the bits that transfer to the physical link layer for the interpretation. Okay. So this is all about this lecture. That remaining topic we will cover in the next lecture. Thank you for watching.